Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, co-editor-in-chief of Retail Insider. Joining me today is Casdin Parr, who is Executive Vice President, Retail Advisory Services for JLL. Thanks for joining us today, Casdin.
Always great to chat with you, Mario. Look forward to discussing the holiday retail report.
Exactly. That's what we're going to talk about. And lots going on in the retail sector. But I was curious and maybe surprised that one of the key results from the survey that the spend by the average consumer is going to be like 32% increase, highest since 2019. Does that make sense to you?
I think we were all pleasantly surprised to see some of those results, Mario. I'd be lying if I anticipated that level of increase. But listen, the Canadian survey has spoken. And listen, I think it's an indication of I think a lot of hard work that the economy's been doing over the last number of months and year previous. And on top of that, I think the great work that the retail community has been doing for the last 12 to 24 months as well. I think the shopping centers are looking better than ever. The high streets are looking better than ever. And our retail partners have done an excellent job in bringing the best product and the best customer experience to stores in quite a long time.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about all that too is, obviously this Friday we've got Black Friday coming up, and but people are already shopping though, right?
We've seen centers busier than ever as it relates to pre-Black Friday spending. So I think that was one of the big trends coming out. It was kind of a double-edged sword. So spending was up, but people were still looking for value and looking for deals. And I think that points to Black Friday. And so I think this past weekend and even in the weeks ahead, we've seen some solid traffic numbers from what I'm hearing from retail partners and peers. And then again, as you mentioned, the big Friday coming up. I think there'll be some positive experience leading up to that date later this week.
Yeah, over the last few years, there's been a lot of chatter about online shopping and and how it was growing, particularly because of the pandemic, obviously. But what we've found in the retail sector, though, is that the experience of being in a store, specifically in a shopping center, hasn't gone away. And in fact, more people are wanting to be in a shopping center these days, right?
Yeah, it's somewhat uniquely Canadian, I would suggest, the shopping center experience in particular. But 99% of the respondents plan to shop within a shopping center this holiday period. And again, really exemplifies the quality experience that they're getting across the country, coast to coast, in the great shopping centers we have across the board.
Okay, and one of the things that's key is experience, right? And shopping centers offer that experience, especially now, right? We've got everything from Santa being present for the kids to just the decorations and other activations going on. How important is that for a shopping center to get?
I think it's critical not only for the shopping center, but for the retailers themselves. I think you're seeing unique product drops, sometimes even within an individual store or limited release product. And I think there's some brands such as Nike that have done an exceptional job of that over the last number of years. And then the shopping centers themselves have really exemplified what experience means. As you mentioned, you gave a few examples of those. And I think one of the biggest trends we've seen, again, culminating maybe more than ever this year, is the food and beverage quality experience has elevated in the shopping centers. Whether that's the new Queen's Cross food court at Toronto Eaton Centre that's recently opened with an elevated food experience, some great full service restaurants opening across the country, giving customers an even bigger reason to come to the shopping center and increase that dwell time and spend more time not just shopping, but getting that overall experience coast to coast.
hmm One of the interesting things, and I must confess, I'm guilty as charged of this as well, as gift cards. Gift cards are so easy, right? So easy to do, and are they becoming more and more popular out there as presents for Christmas?
We've seen the percentage of people purchasing gift cards increasing over the years. And that was again a trend we saw in the 2024 report as well. So again, not maybe the sexiest gift under the tree for some, but I think people value the flexibility and ensuring that loved one, friend or family member is going to ultimately get what they want.
Hmm.
So gift cards certainly have continued to see an increase, and at the end of the day, those dollars and cents go back and are spent at our retailers and with our landlord partners.
The last thing I wanted to ask you about is, it's a difficult time of the year for many retailers, but also a very important time of the year for them, right? It's a kind of, I guess, make or break for some of them. And, just here the other day, we heard that one of the retailers, Stokes, had filed for creditor protection. Is this like critical time for for these retailers and in terms of what we're going to see coming out in the new year that are still afloat?
It's always a critical time of year for everybody involved. The retailers, the 6 weeks ahead are critical to making their year, making their budgets. And to your point, some of our partners that are a bit more challenged, it can make or break a lot of decisions that have to be made in the year ahead. The one thing I'll say is heading into Q4 here in 2024, the business has been healthier than I ever recall. So we've got the retailers across the board that see growing market share. We are seeing more and more. We just saw our friends at Garage Dynamite go public on the TSX within the last week or 2 weeks. So a lot of exciting things happening. That being said, there are always some challenges that take place for individual retailers. And hopefully there's paths according for them as well. But in some ways, it also creates opportunities for other. And there's a lot of great new brands. One of my favorite reports that I always look to for Retail Insider is documenting the number of international retailers that have entered the Canadian marketplace. 2024 was another strong year for that as well. And again, we know that the interest from other additional international retailers will be making their way into 25 and beyond. So I feel really positive on the overall outlook for not only the end of 24, but heading into 2025.
All right, Casdin, thanks so much for joining us today.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, Mario.
All right, that was Casdin Parr, who is Executive Vice President with Retail Advisory Services for JLL. Thanks for joining us today.